Friendship circles can come with a lot of peer pressure, and whether that's intentional or unintentional, most times it's unintentional, that peer pressure affects a lot of your behaviors in your life, and sex is no different, particularly among men. If I ever hear a group of women generally talking about sex and their sexual experiences and the like, it's usually really open, really blunt, and really honest. But if you move yourself into a situation where there's a group of men talking about it, they often exaggerate everything, leave out details, and don't give you any context around what was going on. And that exaggeration has more pressure on you and your confidence than you may not even know. And it can pressure you into undesired sexual situations. And you may not see that they're undesirable to begin with until it's over. Men exaggerate everything, particularly in a group situation, and you can be easily pressured into thinking that you need to be performing at a certain level. When you hear about sex stories, you are often left to fill in the blanks in your own mind. You miss out all the details, you miss out whether things didn't go right in their experiences, and they may be using the term sex as a very loose way to describe something that was, a sexual behavior of some description. You've got no idea what actually happened. Basically, there is a shitload of context that you are not given. As a result, as I mentioned, you're often left to fill in the blanks with the limited information you've been given, and you often perceive it as something that's really hot, intense, and perfect and amazing. And you generally draw from your knowledge of things like pornography, because that's what you generally see when you're watching other people, because you don't watch yourself having sex. Well, the majority of the time you wouldn't, I guess. And having porn as a reference in the vast majority of situations, I'm not going to say all of them, but in the vast majority of situations, is not a good point of reference or representation of what sex is actually like. And if you're not experiencing that, but you think other people are, that can be really, really detrimental to you. When you do find a way to talk one-on-one with someone out of group situations, you start to hear details and you start to hear things that go wrong all the time and things that don't go the way that you imagined it would. You hear about the bad sex stories. And when you hear what really happens in their situations, it will make you feel more at ease if you ever felt like you weren't performing. Sexual performance anxiety is something that happens in men all the time, and it is never spoken about. And I'll be making a video exclusively on this topic in a couple of days' time. On the flip side though, people do genuinely have good sex stories, but the more you try and think of this perfect way of having sex, you're going to feel more pressure, and when it doesn't live up to your expectation, you're going to be disappointed. For the vast majority of people, sex is not going to look like what it looks like in pornography. It is very unrepresentative. Porn definitely has very good uses, but you just need to keep that in the back of your mind. It is best to have no expectations, and therefore you minimize your chances of being disappointed. Have you ever felt under pressure from your peers or friends of how you should be performing sexually? Whether it is the frequency of sexual partners, what you should be doing in bed, what should be pleasuring you, the sort of sexual partners you should be going for. Let me know in the comments below and let's talk about this, because it needs to be spoken about. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about friends with benefits and some of my personal experiences around this social construct. Is it okay? Is it not okay? And until then, that's a wrap.